Imagine you're pulled over on the side of the road at 2 in the morning. You've done everything right. You stayed calm, you kept your hands on the steering wheel, and you politely declined to answer any invasive questions. But then, the officer reaches into your car, picks up your smartphone from the center console, and before you can even process what's happening, he holds it directly in front of your face. You flinch, your eyes hit the sensors, and just like that, the lock icon on your screen pops open. In less than 1 second, the privacy of your entire life, your messages, your photos, your bank accounts, and your location history is wide open for a stranger with a badge to scroll through. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. This is a legal reality that is happening right now in neighborhoods across the country. I'm Aden, the people's lawyer, and on this channel, Citizen Shield, we build your legal armor by exposing the tricks law enforcement uses to bypass the Constitution. Today, I'm breaking down why your face has become the police's favorite key to your digital life, and I'm going to give you the exact steps you need to take to lock your phone down before a consensual encounter turns into a total invasion of your privacy. Now, to understand why your face is such a dangerous key, we have to look at the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court has been very clear about one thing: your phone is the most personal thing you own. In the landmark case of Riley versus California, Chief Justice Roberts wrote that modern cell phones hold the privacies of life. Because of that, the court ruled unanimously, 9-0, that police generally need a search warrant to search the digital contents of your phone. Being in custody doesn't get rid of those privacy rights. The cops still need a warrant. But here is the trap. The police know that getting a warrant takes time and paperwork, so they love to use what I call the unlock shortcut. They'll look at you and say, "Hey, mind if I just take a look at your phone real quick so we can clear this up and get you on your way?" If you say yes, or if you unlock it yourself, you have just handed them the legal authority to snoop through everything. This is exactly what happened to Sarah Webb in Georgia. After a ridiculous arrest based on a coin flip, the officer tricked her into giving up her passcode by claiming he wanted to help her make a phone call. Don't ever fall for that. That call wasn't about helping her. It was about getting access to her phone to justify an illegal arrest. But what if you don't give them the passcode? This is where the difference between a code and a face becomes a constitutional nightmare. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, which means the government cannot force you to reveal the contents of your mind. A passcode is something you know, and most courts agree that forcing you to reveal it violates your Fifth Amendment rights. However, your face or your fingerprint is something you are. It's physical evidence. Courts have ruled that there is no Fifth Amendment protection for physical characteristics. Cops can literally force your finger onto that sensor or hold the phone in front of your face to bypass your security. Because your face is a physical key, it is the police's favorite key, because they don't need your mind to turn it. And the danger is spreading beyond just individual traffic stops. We are seeing a new tech infrastructure being built that turns our devices into silent informants. Look at what's happening in California with Assembly Bill 1043, the Digital Age Assurance Act. It sounds innocent. It's supposed to protect children, but it forces your devices to categorize you by age and then broadcast that signal to every app you open, every single time you use it. This creates a framework for pervasive surveillance that the cops are itching to grab a hold of. Once your device is required to broadcast who you are just to function, the police will argue under the third-party doctrine that you voluntarily gave up that data, and they don't need a warrant to see it. They'll use taxpayer money to buy this data from tech companies or data brokers, bypassing your Fourth Amendment rights entirely. They don't want to wait for a judge to rule on this years from now. They want to use what's available before they're ever told they can't. So, how do you protect the privacies of life stored on your device? You have to move from being a victim to being protected. Here is your Citizen Shield protocol for digital privacy. Step 1. Lock down your permissions. Don't wait for a traffic stop. Go into your settings right now and look at what your apps can access: your camera, your microphone, and your location. If they don't need it to function, turn it off. This reduces the amount of data that leaves your home and ends up in a database the cops can buy. Step 2. Disable biometrics before the encounter. The second you see those red and blue lights, you need to use the emergency lockdown move. On most modern phones, if you quickly press the power button 5 times or hold the power and volume buttons together, it disables Face ID and Touch ID. It forces the phone to require a passcode to open. By doing this, you are shifting your phone from a physical key that can be forced to a mental key protected by the Fifth Amendment. Step 3. Never unlock your phone for a cop. I don't care how nice the officer is or how much they promise it will help clear things up. If they have the evidence for a warrant, they don't need your help. If they are asking, it's because they need your permission to do a fishing expedition through your private life. Step 4. Use your magic words. If an officer demands your phone or asks for consent to search it, you must unambiguously invoke your rights. Look at them and say, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches of my electronic devices. Am I free to leave or am I being detained?" Why are these words so effective? Because "I do not consent" is your Fourth Amendment shield. It puts the legal burden back on the police to prove they had a valid warrant or probable cause. If they search it anyway after you've clearly refused, your lawyer can use that to throw out any evidence they found in court later. And remember, silence is not enough. Under cases like Berghaus versus Tompkins, you must plainly state that you are remaining silent and that you want a lawyer. If you just sit there and say nothing while they ask for your phone, the cops will write down that you were evasive or uncooperative, and they might even argue that your silence was an implied waiver of your rights. You have a reasonable expectation of privacy in your digital world, but the government cannot be trusted to protect it for you. You have to use the Constitution as your armor. If you think the Face ID trap is scary, you won't believe how the police are using your own home's Wi-Fi signal to track your every move through walls without even entering your property. I break down exactly how to shut down that Wi-Fi sensing surveillance in this next video, so click right here and I'll see you over there. Stay safe, stay silent, and stay protected. Subscribe to Citizen Shield to keep your legal armor strong.